Dear friends and colleagues of the International Forum for Promotion of Homeopathy, today, as all of you know, that we are in a sort of problem, and homeopathy is facing more and more challenges every day. And a Supreme Court case is pending against homeopathy now. And a case filed by Dr. Abi Philip with the support of of course, the IMA and other organizations who are working against homeopathy for a long time. And today we have with us Dr. Girish Gupta, the president of the Asian Homeopathic Medical League. Then we have here the HMI president, Dr. Ramjit Singh, who could not come because he is in between transit in the flight. So he has deputed Dr. Mardul Kumar Sahani, who is cooperating with us for a long time. Dr. Sahani Saab will be representing the Homeopathic Medical Association of India. And then we have the president of the Karnataka Homeopathic Board, constituted by the government of Karnataka, Dr. B.T. Rudresh. And another personality we have here is the Dr. Veera Brahmachari, who is the president of the Karnataka Homeopathic Medical Association. And of course, our president, Dr. Ismail Said sir. And today, you all know that we are facing some challenges. And this case before the Supreme Court is pending now. And the Supreme Court has asked the government of Kerala and the Ministry of Ayush in the central government to file counter affidavit to the case filed by Dr. Abi Philip and a few others. All of you know that what the case is, but still I have to say something on that. The case is against homeopathy and the distribution of arsenic album as preventive. We all know that when COVID-19 came in 2019 December, the whole world could not do anything. No medical system could do anything because for allopathic system of medicine, they have to identify the virus and then find out a remedy. And they themselves have several times admitted that they could not do anything. Only general measures like using the mask, keeping the distance, all these things only they could advise to the common man. But later we found that those who followed these general measures and those who did not follow the measures, the death rate are the same, the contagion was same, and that was useless. Later we saw that a vaccine which did not have the 3 trials or the which is not according to the conventional production of vaccine was given all over the world, and a booster dose was given. And in the beginning, the first vaccine, 90% of the people took it. And the second time, only 60%, even less than 50% only was taking it. And the third vaccine was rejected by the people as a whole. But at the same time, many side effects were reported. And even the number of sudden deaths in the last 2-3 years has gone up like anything. The percentage of sudden deaths have gone up like anything. Today also we heard that one Karnataka or the actress from the Karnataka state died in Thailand. So many casualties, deaths. And we are all seeing every day the newspapers. And even the doctors admit that vaccines have really responsible for many of these things, especially cardiac arrest and many things. At the same time, the whole world was taking arsenic alb as preventive, and also the Flipkart, the Amazon were selling this selling arsenic alb throughout the world, and nobody reported any adverse side effects or anything. And we have seen that every pandemic or epidemic helped homeopathy to grow further and further. And the homeopathic medicine reached throughout the globe. People were using it and found effective, and people were using it again and again. Here we have to remember or recall that the homeopathic medicines were, many of our enemies were saying that homeopathic medicines are placebo. And suddenly when they saw that we are distributing arsenic alb as an effective preventive in COVID, the propaganda was arsenic is a poison and it should not be used. After the birth of homeopathy, for around 210 years, we heard that the whole world, the medical pharma were telling that homeopathy was placebo. Suddenly they started saying that homeopathy is dangerous, the arsenic alb is dangerous, without knowing even how arsenic alb is prepared in homeopathy and how arsenic alb is used in homeopathy as a medicine. We are the only system of medicine who were using these medicines in subphysiological doses, and no adverse reaction was reported in the last 225 years. Arsenic alb is one among the many few medicines which we used from the beginning till now. But when people started accepting it in large scale, many people who became jealous of us now have gone to the court saying that arsenic alb was not experimented properly to be used as a preventive. The same question should be asked about the vaccination. Without going for all the trials of a conventional vaccine, a new vaccine was introduced, the mRNA vaccine was introduced, and without completing the procedure for a vaccine preparation, it was brought to the market and was given to millions of people. Whereas arsenic alb is used by homeopaths around the world for the last 225 years, and nobody has reported any side effects. So now the question is, if a system is growing like this, what we should do? That's what our enemies are doing now. They are trying to make sure that in the future pandemics, the homeopathic medicine should not be used as preventive. That is their only game or only aim in a way. So as you know, this case is pending before the Supreme Court of India, and the court has asked the government of Kerala and the Irish Ministry of Central Government to give a counter affidavit. So their main contention is this medicine should not be given, or arsenic alb should not be given people below the age of 30 and above the age of 65. And also in future pandemics, homeopathic medicine should not be given. So this is the situation now. So as a whole, as a community, as the followers of homeopathy, we have to decide what to do, and we have to defend ourselves in the court. And the International Forum for Promotion of Homeopathy is calling the opinion of the eminent personalities in the field of homeopathy and the people who are leading homeopathic associations in India and Asia. So first of all, I would like to invite Dr. Girish Gupta for his comments and his opinions, because he is the president of the Asian Homeopathic Medicine Medical League for a long time. And I request Dr. Girish Gupta to come to our forum to express his opinion.
Thank you, Dr. Jose.
Thank you.
It's very nice to see you, to hear you after a long time. First of all, it was very difficult for me to respond to the points raised by you in the mail, because this morning only I received your phone call, and with such a short notice, I had to prepare myself to be present in front of you. But in any case, this is very, very important and vital issue. First of all, there are two factors which are very important to be discussed. First of all, what allopathic system of medicine offered as a preventive or as a curative. They prescribed ivermectin, which failed. They then resorted to SCQ, hydroxychloroquine, which again was not effective. Rather, it induced a lot of side effects in liver, because this is a hepatotoxic drug, which is usually used in malaria. But it, I mean, as far as research is concerned, allopathic system of medicine never investigated its activity, antiviral activity against COVID virus. But even then it was used empirically. Same way ivermectin was used. And so many, they had to change so many prescriptions in a week's time or in a month's time. And if something was effective in allopathy, then it should have given the results, but it didn't work. And here was the role of Ayush system of medicine, particularly Ayurveda and homeopathy. Ayurveda was widely used around the country, at least in India. I can't claim about foreign countries. But Ayurvedic kadha and so many other medicines, herbal medicines, were found to be very, very effective in preventing as well as managing the cases. Likewise, arsenic, being a genus epidemicus, was prescribed en masse, and those patients, the healthy people who were given arsenic alba, the incidence of COVID was not so much compared to the untreated persons. So it has definitely given a very, very positive effect in preventing this COVID-19 viral infection. Not only this, not only as a preventive, but as a curative also. We all must have treated cases either at home or in the hospital, where arsenic, along with other medicines, of course, were found to be very effective in mitigating the severity of pneumonia, viral pneumonia, and it could prevent even damage of the lungs. Clinically, as well as pathologically, we have seen the results. The only bottleneck with homeopathy and Ayurvedic was that we didn't have our hospital. So, and we were not allowed to test or to treat patients with our medicines in hospitals because of the supremacy of allopathic system of medicine. But COVID-19 was such an pandemic rather, which gave a lot of publicity and a lot of good effects against COVID-19. So we gained a lot of confidence of the public at the government level. Now the question is, they are objecting about arsenic. So what we should do, we should first of all respond to the court's verdict that arsenic 30 is not at all arsenic crude. So it must be made clear that arsenic 30 is potentized, diluted to ultra high dilution, where even molecule of arsenic is not there. So no question of toxicity arise over here. And its good effects, we can quote our materia medica, we can quote our literature, that arsenic is very, very effective in treating viral bronchitis, viral pneumonia, maybe not by COVID-19, because COVID-19 was a new virus. It was new not only to homeopathy, but also to allopathy. They could not have any known drug which could inhibit the multiplication of COVID-19 virus. So was the case with arsenic. It was proved, it was given, prescribed, and distributed to public on the basis of its clinical signs and symptoms. So we can quote in the reply in the counter affidavit to the court, and quoting that arsenic, what were the symptoms produced by arsenic during proving, and its clinical effects in treating pneumonia, viral pneumonia. So we should first of all defend with our scientific background, with scientific inputs, and at the same time we must quote that no allopathic drug was found to be effective, not for prevention as well as for cure. In second way, what happened? They prescribed steroids profusely that led to severe immunosuppression of patients and leading to leading to secondary infections caused by Aspergillus niger and Candida albicans, that is black fungus and white fungus. In that front also, homeopathic drugs gave very good results. Even I wrote to Department of Ayush, Secretary of Ayush, where I presented my paper, which was published in 1995 on the role of homeopathic medicines against Aspergillus niger in vitro. So that paper was published. I sent the paper to Secretary of Ayush. On that basis, after seeking opinion in the country, Ayush Secretary, Department of Ayush, released an advisory advising all homeopathic doctors to use certain medicines they listed on the basis of our research work. So it was in way back in 1995, I published two papers on the direct action of homeopathic drugs against black fungus, that is Aspergillus niger, and then followed by Candida albicans. So on that front also, homeopathic drugs were found to be effective against black and white fungus. So now the question is how to respond to the court's order. So I suggest that we should quote the sentences from our materia medica on the basis of symptoms proved through arsenic, that these are the symptoms on the basis of which we selected a genus epidemicus, which acted as a vaccine in inducing the immunity against COVID-19. And it really helped. And in case we have got our data, either at CCRH level or in any research institute, government research institute, then we can incorporate that data along with that in counter affidavit. This is the only way we can defend ourselves, and we are sure we will defend, because arsenic is not toxic in diluted doses at all. So now we have to defend at two fronts. First of all, we have to prove that arsenic alba was not given in crude form, but in diluted form. So there is no question of toxicity. And second is, on the basis of symptomatology already present in our literature, homeopathic literature, we have prescribed on the basis of these symptoms. We can quote the name of authors like Dr. John Haley Clark, William Borick, Dr. Kent, Nash. We can quote these authorities and the symptomatology produced during arsenic proving, that on the basis of these symptoms, we have prescribed on scientific background, and there was no casualty at all. There was no single case of toxicity produced by arsenic. So these are the two fronts where we can file a counter affidavit in front of Honorable Supreme Court. This is what I wanted to say, that in absence of allopathic alternative and in absence of their utter failure in dealing with the COVID-19 cases, Ayush system came in front, which helped a lot of lives in preventing and in curing the patients. Of course, hospital backup was not with us. Clinical settings were not with us. But at OPD level and through even video conferencing, etc., a lot of lakhs of doctors used this medicine, which helped quite a majority of patients, public at large, particularly in our country. I don't know about foreign countries. So we should quote our literature and we should emphasize how arsenic has been prepared up to 30 potency, where it's an ultra high dilution. There's no molecule at all which could cause arsenic toxicity. So these 2 points are very vital in giving the reply to Honorable Court. So with these words, I thank you, Dr. Jose, and we have to prepare the modality as to how to approach the court through advocate or through whatever modality. We are with you. And I think HMAI, AXML, and maybe IIHP, these all associations are with you in fighting with this case. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Girish Gupta. So the main points which you have told us is, one is arsenic alb is not used in the raw form.
Yeah.
And point, it was used on a symptomatic basis.
Yeah.
Sufficient tests, experimentation, and everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We hope the Asian Homeopathic Medical League, we can fight hand in hand together against this problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Now I invite Dr. B.T. Rudresh from Karnataka, who is the president of the Karnataka Homeopathic Board under the government of Karnataka. One Dr. Abhi Philip and his team has
Kerala wala.
Filed a case against the distribution of arsenic alb.
Liver wala.
They have demanded that the homeopathic preventive should not be given in future also. So the case is the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has given notice to the Ayush Department of the Government of India and the Kerala government. So that's the situation now. So we are, our idea is to get the opinion of all the leading practitioners of homeopathy and all the leading associations of homeopathy in this forum. Okay, come.
Point number one.
Okay.
Point number one. Though the Ernakulam or some other CCRH point was there near to those Abhay Philip or whoever it is, they did not involve a homeopath to do whatever they did. That some people were affected because of arsenicum album, their liver were affected, 9 people were died. It is something like asking Congress people to give verdict on BJP. Number one. तो तुम्हारा टेम्पल में हम मुल्ला को लेके हम मंगलारती नहीं करते. हमारे टेम्पल में हमारा अर्चक करता है, मुल्ला नहीं करता है. और वैसे ही हम मस्जिद में जाके मेरा अर्चक काम नहीं करता है. उसका काम उसको करने दो. नंबर 1. The first point. Number 2, who he was to tell that homeopathy did not work? तुम्हारा घर में बैठ के तुमको जो चाहते हैं वो सभी प्रिंट करो, वो सभी करो. Where is the point? And where is the point that those 9 cases who died, 99. See, I am practicing from 40 years. Just now I came from clinic home, seeing almost 100 patients a day. That includes 20% of allopathic doctors and their families. We are not bullying people. Number one. Number two, where is the gap? Whoever comes to a homeopath in Karnataka, in other place, probably in Kerala, they may come as a probably as a first resort. But to all of us, they come as a last resort. I wanted to ask those two doctors, where is the guarantee before they tried homeopathic medicines, they did not try any other medicines, including Ayurveda, including any other medicines? Where is the guarantee? Who has to authorize? And how the what so-called the international magazines, science magazines, can publish such bully things? It is as simple as that, number one. Number two, we will have to prove ourselves that if the government and if the Supreme Court wants to prove that homeopathy is inefficient, homeopathy is not a system, arsenicum album has worked, let them form a committee of top leading doctors, including a practitioner. वो जो घर में बैठ के कंप्यूटर में केस चढ़ाता है, 10-10 केस रात तक तैयार करता है, वो नहीं. People who have worked in the front of teaching, in the front of practicing, in the front of with patients, with evidences. Let them form a committee. Let them sit with them. First of all, let them agree that they are not doing any favor to me or to homeopath for that matter, only because my system is being acknowledged, accepted under the Constitution, under the Parliamentary Act. Nobody can question the veracity of my system is whether scientific or not. वो कौन होता है पूछने वाला हमको? Number one. Number two, the whole problem with us today, what I see after practicing 40 years, working in CCH for 10 years, working as an executive committee member of board of governor for 3 years, I have seen we are lacking the leadership and a hero. हमको इंडिया में तो नहीं दिख रहा है मेरे को. And I have seen there somehow the CCH or including board of governor when I was there, we were only trying to inspect colleges. उसको कैसे देने का, तुम्हारे पास 13 माइक्रोस्कोप है क्या नहीं, अरे उसमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है, and you have whether 500 OPDs, इसी में चला गया हमारा जिंदगी. Whatever it is, now wherever we are, yes, it is the effort of all those commission and all those CCH, everything is certainly there. But the problem with us now is that we lack the leadership there in Delhi. We were unable to convince the government. And the Secretary of Ayush probably would have taken a decision of calling all the doctors. Arey, wo sab ho gaya tha already, whether to say endemic, pandemic, epidemic. There was a meeting going on. Some scientific committee ka meeting was going on. Pardon? The subcommittee meeting was going on. Then this subject came without any second thought. That scientific committee decided to give arsenicum album 30. Fair enough. हमने जो बोल दिया, so that we have to accept. मेरे ख्याल से if they were really scientific, हमारा दिमाग में कुछ दिल और दिमाग रहा, उसी दिन हमको ताकत रहे तो दिल्ली में ये बोलना था कि my system is also equally a scientific system. अगर हमको preventive डालना ही पड़ता है, we will have to isolate this COVID-19 by itself. Treacherous that if my principle is true, what can cause can cure, that would have been cured and prevented both. हमको ये बोलने को ताकत नहीं था किसी को भी, हमने बोला भी नहीं किसी को भी, सुना भी नहीं, बोला तो भी सुना वाला कौन? This is what happened initially. This is it went wrong actually. We would have isolated the COVID-19 virus prepared medicine from that. And that is what we have done with pestinum. Plague आने के टाइम सूरत में क्या किया? Pestinum बनाया था ना. इसी तरह से COVID-19 से you have all the, and if you call yourself your scientific, if we call ourselves your scientific, if it is so, whatever can cause can cure. Why not COVID-19 cure as a preventive and curative? Why not? Have we tried that? We did not try. Some Johnny's 12 Johnny sitting at Delhi decided that it is arsenicum album 30. दे दिया हमने 30. Where was this? See, nothing can go without questioning. Okay, हम इतने पे आ गए. We have come to this level of even asking them. They should have asked us what we should do. They did not do that. If they were to doing this, we would not have been doldrums in today. हमारे में कितने में ताकत था कि ये बोलने के लिए COVID-19 को गवर्नमेंट देके अरे 10-10 रुपए में 20-20 रुपए में प्रिवेंटिव दे सकता था. And if the government has accepted us as a scientific system, and if you would not advocated this theory of isolating 19, that's where I think we have gone wrong. Okay, now somebody has accepted, हमको दूसरा काम नहीं था, इसलिए arsenicum album मैंने accepted. When I was almost fighting in Karnataka with all the TV and quarreling with other people, my only question was, we as a system miserably failed in the leadership, number one. Second thing, we did not approach the scientific way how it was expected. The lacunae lies within us. 173 live cases of COVID-1, including doctors, I treated from my individual levels. They were all given bryonia, pyrogenum, lycopodium, all other drugs. Arsenic kabhi पूछा तो देना ही पड़ता था, because everybody started asking arsenicum album. We are either deceiving ourselves or deceiving the public. Number one, I don't see any scientificity in only prescribing on that day the arsenicum album. Okay, जाने दो. The second final thing was WHO first said, Wuhan में क्या बोला? First said, they said animal to animal. Then they said animal to man. They said they took 27 days to tell that this virus comes from man to man. Then they said it is epidemic. To call pandemic, they took 57 days. By then everything was spread. So then everybody started asking you and me, for anything, these homeopaths come up. They tell you have medicine for all the diseases on the earth. Whether they have gone to Wuhan, whether they have gone to given medicine, they have treated, their medicines have not, the disease has not yet come to India. These homeopaths are already telling they have medicines. How is that they have medicine? They have gone and tried. WHO has given a set of medicine, set of symptoms, 16 set of symptoms, onset, march of events, going into the level of death. The march of events, onset, which remedy comes closer? What is homeopathic medicines? We are only matching the total symptomatology of those symptoms which are available in the disease, those symptoms which are available in the medicine. Okay, now you take all the 16 symptoms of WHO, how it started, where did it, so suddenly it went to lungs, like phosphorus probably. We would have had a lot of other medicines. Somebody gave Merxal, somebody gave, let us stop all this. We should, if you want to fight this, the government should form a committee, number one. There should be good practitioners, scientists not who do only the business in the, taking in the room, sitting down, typing and cooking up cases. Is not that. That's where we don't have grit, we don't have conscientiousness, talk to the scientific community. We talk to ourselves, we plead a lot of things, we are most scientific and I am the honeyman, nobody else. That we talk when we are there. But when you come to the what so-called, where is the scientificity? HCQ deke kitna log mar gaye? And where is the question of, there is no meta-analysis, there is no systemic analysis, there is no toxic analysis, small group, Large group, human analysis, kidhar tha? Where they have done? How did they give? They have the license to kill. If they can do it, all the wonder drugs one by one, even today it did not work. And until now today you ask in any laboratory, do they have COVID-19? If you want a sample, where do we get the COVID-19? Can anybody just tell me where do we get? Number one. Number two, we should have, there only we should have said, look, until the Italy people, 8 people, post-mortem report came, it is not the lungs, that fellow is not unable to breathe. We have to give ventilators. Karnataka government purchased 300 crores ventilators. By the time ventilators came, they did not work because it was not the lungs which were failing. It was the pulmonary artery embolism which was blocking the thing. So they started treating like an heart attack, giving aspirins, giving all those drugs of heart attacks. So until then, they also tried trial and error method. At what cost? How do you call medicine is science? In mathematics, 1 + 1 = 2. I'll agree. You do it, I do it, or on the moon. If you come down to physics, morning, Sarah called from America, said good morning. Where is the good morning? It is good evening here, Sarah. So, in physics, time and space make the constraints. If you come to chemistry, there is no accuracy of mathematics, no accuracy of physics. There is pressure and temperature comes. And there is no logic in biologic. Less said the better as far as the medicine is concerned. Less said the better the name, what so-called the definition of man is concerned. Till now, WHO has failed to give us all foolproof, all-pervading definition of who is man. Your 80% of the textbooks, Price, Davidson, Harley, you take any 80% of your textbooks. 80% of the diseases have no cause. Etiology, idiopathy. If a system does not know the causes of 80% of the diseases, अरे उसको शर्म नहीं आता है क्या साइंटिफिक बोलने के लिए? और हमको सब है, बोलने वाला नहीं है. I think with this, now you all decide how we should unite, how we should present, how we should make committees, how we should impress politically. These things do matter. Pharma industry, under no circumstances, they will not. We are all living only because of our results. किसी की मेहरबानी से हम जिंदा नहीं है. If a homeopathy is living, he is living with results. So I feel any homeopathy is living mainly because of the results. People are result oriented. They don't care whether Ayurveda, homeopathy, dyspathy, apathy, empathy, anypathy. People are result oriented. Give the results. Even if somebody calls you unscientific, does not matter. I think with this, namaskar, sir.
So now I invite Dr. Mritul Kumar Sahani. He is known to each and every one of us, and he is our supporter for a long time. And he will be representing the largest and the biggest organization of homeopaths in India, that is HMAI, Homeopathic Medical Association of India.
Thank you, Dr. Jose. Sorry for joining late because I have to come. Network is very poor here. A lot of rain is going on. As I spoke to you in the morning about Dr. Ramji Singh joining, as he is the president for HMAI, one of the largest organizations in homeopathy. But because he was traveling, he had no prior information about the sudden program of that. So he could not manage because he has to travel to Delhi for some of the work. So right now he is in the flight, so it will not be possible for him. But when I spoke to him, he just he said, HMI will follow its own directives, and whatever message is given here, that will be conveyed. So that will be conveyed to committee to discuss. And he is also concerned that it should be done. Because I listening to some of the parts of the Dr. Rudresh, it is true that we are standing by our own image, by our own strength, by our own things that we are doing. But it is the question is not that what we have. Question is what the other peoples are mentioning. What is the writ petitions was there? So these writ petitions, we have to find out the points and find out a suitable lawyer. For that, I think at the HMI level also, we will be cooperating, and I'll be conveying all the message to Dr. Ramji Singh for this and the entire team. We will be having our NEC meeting, and that will be discussed during the National Executive Committee in the next session only. And
thank you, sir. Anyway,
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, continue. Continue, sir.
My opinion that we should go further. No, what I feel that we have to fight. Survival is important, and we have to fight. We have to make them appear in the court. We have to defend ourselves. So, which the homeopathic community, entire homeopathic community has to come together to protect themselves. And definitely, I don't feel that nobody will say no. And at the HMI level also, I feel that we should participate and cooperate with all the organizations here now.
Thank you, sir.
So with this, I thank you, Dr. Joe. Yeah. And sorry for joining late.
Yeah, no problem. Anyway, thank you, sir, for giving us the suggestion that all the associations should come together and put up a fight with eminent...
This is the things that we have to do it. Because otherwise, every time it happens, and we will survive. But this will only this will only keep our homeopathy in a stressed situation. So definitely we have to fight together. This is very much essential today.
Now I invite Dr. B.N. Brahmachari, the president of the Karnataka Homeopathic Medical Association, to express his opinion.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to everybody. Respected senior doctors and Dr. Isaac. Regarding this issue, it is already in the court, that is in the Supreme Court. Now, regarding this issue, we have to first educate our lawyers, whether from Kerala lawyer or from Supreme Court lawyer, regarding whatever our just now spoke about regarding the system. Regarding only the problem is only the arsenic album. Arsenic album, what is arsenic album? How we prepare, how we dispense. This knowledge has to go to the lawyer, but because he has to argue in the court. After that, we have to, if Supreme Court forms the committee regarding the issue, well and good, then we can, all senior doctors can convince the committee what is homeopathy, what is arsenic album, how it works, why we have given so many things regarding scientific aspects. As my opinion, since it is in the court, we have to only educate properly to the lawyer and the judge. Then only we can win these issues. Whatever we have been discussing, our senior respected doctors spoke regarding the other aspects also. Okay, fine. But it is in the court. The court needs only the valued points. Whatever other people have gone to the court, we have to educate properly to the lawyer and the judge. How? We have to request our lawyer to the Supreme Court to form a committee. In that committee, if our respected doctors go and convince what is homeopathy, how it works, then those committee, if they give good report to the Supreme Court, then our lawyer also should educate properly. We have to educate properly. Whatever we spoke, these things and all, we have to educate properly. If judge convinced, then only we will get a good result, good judgment. This is my only opinion. Only we have to, technical points with the lawyers and the courts. We have to look into the matter. Other aspects, okay, what we have been, other aspects we have been seeing, how we are, how our seniors, how we are, everything we know each other, and how much we speak in our community regarding this issue. This is in the court. The court only, court only we have to convince properly. This is only my view. Thank you, Dr. Jose.
Dr. Ibrahim from Malaysia, and you can speak. And yes, Said sir is also there, and Beatrice also, doctor is also there. Yes, Dr. Ibrahim.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Actually, I'm very pleased to see this kind of discussion, which had never happened before. I guess so. All the kudos to all this committee for arranging such kind of discussions. Okay, sir. Just I would like to give my 2 cents of opinion here, sir. Now, because I've seen our Indian system of education for many years now. I'm at the international level for almost over 11 years. So what my experience is that basically we are two emotional people, sir. And when it comes to kind of such cases in the court, emotions doesn't matter, sir. So what actually matters is it's all about evidences. What kind of evidences you provide in the court. That matters, sir. Okay. So here it's very simple. The case is about arsenic alb, and they quoted that arsenic alb. They think it's the crude form what we are using, and they claim that, okay, this is the poison you are giving it to the patient. Simple question. Be simple in your answers. Okay. That it was again rightly mentioned by our Sahani sir and all. Okay. And one more speaker, okay, he did mention, okay, that we have to educate our lawyers. The first thing that we have to tell them the difference between crude form of any drugs being used, okay, and how, okay, it is different in homeopathy, the method of preparing medicines using homeopathy. First, we can start with, okay, with the example of mercury. The entire world knows mercury is insoluble, but Hahnemann made it soluble using homeopathic mode of preparing medicines. Number one. Number two, because it was claimed that, okay, arsenic is a poison, but sorry, we are not using crude form, we are using homeopathic form. Now, how to prove it? We have already got, okay, few studies. If you Google, you will find, okay, studies have been done. So these are called as acute and chronic toxicity studies of homeopathically prepared arsenic alb, 6C, 30C, 200, 1M. Studies have been done, conducted, and the results of these toxicity studies showed that after the studies were done, so the blood parameters and histopathological report showed no evidences of toxicity. So this one actually will prove our case that whatever we use as a homeopathically prepared arsenic is 100% safe, okay, to prescribe to the patients. So this one actually, like, be very realistic and be to the point. No need to be emotional at all. That's the biggest problem what I have observed for so many years, okay, in our system. So this is the biggest problem what we have, that we don't talk as per the language which the entire world understands. They talk the language of research. They understand the language of research. So just stick to that, sir. So that's my just a 2 cents, okay, from my side. Just provide them the evidences how homeopathy actually considers preparing medicines. Provide the evidences of toxicity effects of arsenic alb, which showed absolutely no toxic effects when animal studies were conducted, sir. So that's it. That's my 2 cents, okay, of suggestions.
So you have put up a very valid point that homeopathic medicines never showed any toxicity.
Exactly, sir. That's what we have to provide them evidences, sir. And already studies are being conducted. Already we have got the studies, sir. Just we have to, okay, provide the evidences to them. That's it,
Thank you very much. The very valid point.
Because we have gone through some similar kind of cases here in Malaysia, and so much. That's that using that experience. I just wanted to share my suggestions, sir. And this is what they want to hear from you, sir. Not
Yes.
any emotional kind of thing. And actually, like, just to add on something, sir, okay, we got admission in MD in the year 1998, sir. When we got admission in MD, that time we got to know something about research and all that stuff, so biostudies and all. Until BHMS, we even didn't know what the hell research and biostatistics means. Now, when coming to international levels, here the moment, okay, you enter even your O levels, okay, even before going into your 12th standard, whether you are in diploma, they start teaching you research and all. So like this component is very much missing in our education system. So this is like a way forward, I'm suggesting. So like we need to give more importance to research kind of methodologies when actually it comes to in the beginning of our curriculum itself. We should actually give utmost importance to this aspect, which is missing. Like, okay, no, like, this is one more thing that, okay, we always talk about, okay, our results in our clinic, treating patients or all. So sorry to say, sir, okay, but this is not the world they want to hear. And this is not the way the world is going to trust us, sir. Okay, the world will only trust us if we show them evidences, okay, in the language which they understand. And that language is only the language of research, sir. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Beatrice, please come to the floor.
Please, Anvi.
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm listening to you. I would like to add my modest opinion. I am not in India. I'm in Germany. We have a different situation. But what I feel, point one, the most important will be to have a very good lawyer. Point two, as you said, combine also important associations. Very important. Point three, as the person before me was saying, make evidence-based, very clear, very solid in presentation. But I would like to add two more points. Because we are facing the situation that perhaps in 5, 10 years, there could be another pandemic. And we have to prepare for that. So if we give our opinion, or you give your opinion to the Supreme Court, they also have to be conscious that in the beginning of that pandemic, orthodox medicine did not have a solution. And they have to accept this, to be a bit more modest. Point two, very important for me. Medicine is for the people. Medicine is for the patients. How is it possible that the WHO will tell the patients which therapy they have to take or not have to take? If a patient prefers homeopathy, he should have the legal form of taking it. That's very important, also the lawyer, to put this as a point. And now, to finish, my dear friends, I have to say something perhaps you will not like. You will perhaps not like. But as in Germany, we have a different situation. All homeopathic doctors in our country are allopathic doctors. So during the pandemic, also we did not have any problems to give homeopathic remedies. It's not allowed to say to us, you are not able to give homeopathic therapy. No, it's not allowed because I'm a medical doctor. They cannot tell me anything. Second, we could produce the nosode of corona, of COVID-19, which was also helpful. We had much more liberty. So perhaps it could be an idea. Your children and grandchildren who really, you love homeopathy, I know since many generations, but bring some of your grandchildren to study first allopathic medicine and homeopathy and be not vulnerable. Thank you very much. I feel very affected, emotionally affected with your being here and your meeting and your fight for homeopathy in India. For me, talking from Germany, I know you love Germany because of Dr. Hahnemann, but I tell you, I love India so much because at the moment, you have the flag of homeopathy in the whole world. You are the leading country. So all the best for you. Thank you.
Beatrice, one of the points you have put up is the right to select the system the people want. Every citizen has the right to select the system of medicine they want. Thank you very much.
Good evening to everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you, Giriji. I've been listening to everyone since very long. And the word which I have to say, other people also spoke about making a committee, presenting a case properly in Supreme Court. The Dr. Ibrahim from Malaysia said very well to speak only on the point and to educate the court through the lawyer, the philosophy of homeopathy and the drug arsenic. In that dilution doesn't have side effect, and other medicine too doesn't have side effect at the potency of 30. The case where it was quoted some casualties or something, that has not been proved that it is due to arsenic, who were the patient, how much they took the medicine, and certain other points can lead the court to the proper thought. And in such way, it is not the first time. This sort of things can come later also with some other medicines in coming future. But the trend may be set. How we present our case with arsenic, proving in cases of the other medicines also when they are challenged in this way. So this is the first thing coming to the Supreme Court, and the point to be raised by the lawyer. And it was very well said, the lawyer should also be educated about the homeopathic, where they can put our case strongly, and we can give the proving of arsenic also in contemporary doctors made it. The way it was selected, we have to put together. Other medicines used by other doctors were also effective, but we are only talking of the arsenic and the question raised on arsenic. So the arsenic doesn't have a side effect in 30 potency. And lot of other vaccines and other preventive medicine in other medical sciences were also hit in trials, the need of that time. The casualty happened with the lot of vaccination also. The data, they are available also. So we should be precisely to the point, unnecessary making it more to be discussed from different angles. So Dr. Ibrahim of Malaysia was his talk was very precise, and thus I find, and it is my suggestion, that educating the court on through lawyer on arsenic will solve the problem. And until there is the question, we shouldn't give the answer which is not wanting. With this word, I thank you very much for providing me the opportunity to put my view. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. R.K. Bhatia.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, I want to say a few things. First, we have to prove in the court that whenever a homeopathic medicine is preparing, each and every time it is diluting. Diluting means the latest studies of nanotechnology says that whenever a drug is used in alcohol, it is while diluting the matter of the which if we are using a sulfur, that sulfur may becoming diluted and the numbers of the particle will be more. And this is happening. Number of the body becoming small and the number of particle will be more. While we are doing each dilutions, the same thing is happening. That is why in higher potencies, the size, the number of the particles which are used in the drug, used in the matter this number will be raised. More and more numbers will be there, but the size of the medicine is low. So we have to prove in the court that whenever using the higher potencies, it is very smaller that matter using in the alcohol may produce some symptoms. This is what is written in the Materia Medica. So otherwise, they will prove that this Materia Medica will show to the court that, and they will say that these are the symptoms, these are the diseases they will produce by using the homeopathic medicines. That itself, it may go dangerous to our system. If our Materia Medica, they can show that while using this lycopodium, these are the symptoms will produce, these are the diseases will produce. While using this, that medicine, these are the dangerous conditions. But it should be very, very much, we have to understand, and we should teach the advocate that whenever using a smaller potency, that may produce medicine. Otherwise, when we are using in the drug proving, and we have to say that what is happening in the drug proving and what is happening in the treatment pattern, the nature's law. These are the homeopathic laws are only come because we are using, if we are saying that these are some spiritual dynamic medicine, these are the terms, it is not accepted by the court. If the matter is, if it is, we can now prove that these are the nanoparticles we are using for medicine. So we have to prove that these nanoparticles are using in a minimum quantity that can cure. If it is used in the more quantity, that it will make this type of symptoms and what is written in the Materia Medica. So we have to distinguish the studies detail to the court. We should produce it before the court, and we have to teach the lawyer itself. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hibbert. Now I invite Dr. C.J. Varghese, our former CCH member and the patron of IFPH, to express his opinion.
Thank you, Dr. Jose. It's a great pleasure for me to be here along with my very respected and very dearest colleagues like Dr. Mridul Kumar Sahani, my very good friend, Dr. Veera Brahmachari, a good old friend, Dr. Rudresh, and I'm honored to be here and allowed to speak on this topic. First of all, regarding the effectiveness of homeopathy or effectiveness of arsenic album and the difference between arsenicum and arsenic album 30, we among ourselves have no different opinion. But what is important is how we are going to proceed in the court. So from the steps that we have already taken, IFPH can very well take the leadership. So first, when Dr. Rudresh was telling, or Dr. Swami was mentioning, what it really lack is a leadership. So there is sufficient reason for us to take the leadership, and our Dr. Ismail said, Dr. Jose and other eminent persons who are here present can be the leaders who will find the advocates who will represent our points in the court. And the next point is to teach them about the points. The points we are all collecting from different sources, and eminent speakers gave us sufficient points for that also. We will accumulate all those points and sufficiently put before the affected court through our lawyers. And therefore, our first method will be how to proceed in this thing. And there is a clear-cut procedure that we have to adopt. First of all, we take the leadership and invite all the organizations existing in India in homeopathic field, and we are sure to get a good number of organizations. And as somebody was suggesting, let there be an immediate national executive committee of HMA or something like that. That will take more time, and the leaders like Dr. Girish Gupta, Dr. Veera Brahmachari, Dr. Sahani especially, they can take the leadership, have a telephonic or a similar Zoom communications among their executive members, take the decision immediately, so that the necessary fund we have to find from among the organizations and its supporters. And there we have to go. And when Dr. Brahmachari was very well suggesting that we should have request for a committee, a formation of a committee, be in front of whom we can sufficiently present our demands. So it's not demand now, we are in the defensive stage. And therefore, what all allegations are there against our genus epidemicus protocol, we know that it is purely according to the principles, basic principles of homeopathy. What we have gone wrong, that my friends in IFPH very well know, that we were diverting from the basic fundamental principles of homeopathy. That is why we had to meet with such a situation, and there is all likelihood that in future also we will have to face similar situations unless we stop for good this sort of attack against homeopathy. Number one is that who told us that there was an epidemic called COVID? Is there any proof that such a virus was there? And what is the proof? And this proof is not needed for us. We don't treat according to the name of the disease. Because when chikungunya was prevalent in this country, at least in some of the state of Kerala, we gave the arsenicum. And Dr. Beatrice was from Germany was speaking that in the background, they are preparing for another COVID or something like that, another pandemic. Then also, if the CCRH is approached, we will be giving arsenic album, because for the chikungunya also arsenic was declared as the, why arsenicum is given, which I was always telling. I have already told 100 times. Arsenicum has got no property to kill or attack or influence the COVID virus or any other virus, so-called virus. I am repeating. Because the virus is, if at all it is smallest, but it's a physical or material entity, and our dynamized medicine is always in a dynamic level. And therefore, the dynamized remedies will act only on the dynamized vital force, which is deranged according to homeopathy principles. So, in order to boast ourselves that we are very scientific, at some point of time, some people will tell that up to 200 potency, we are having the material content in it. That's not needed for us. And that is immaterial for our arguments. And at this time, we will say that, oh, it is there, but it is not too toxic. So this is a dual approach for this problem. And I'm not going into the detail about it. And the virus is a manipulated thing, a fabricated thing, which was not there. Even if they are bringing a newer version of another virus, then also CCRH will be giving the genus epidemicus. I'm sure that will be arsenic. Why? Because what is treated, what is prevalent, what is pandemic is nothing but fright. And this fright can well cause this cough, this bronchitis, and this asthma, bronchial asthma, and even the bronchial pneumonia. And this information is given to me by Dr. Hammer. And therefore, I can very well say that if the fear element is there, that will cause so sensitive type of people this sort of symptoms. Sorry, people will have always an anxiety about health. Psychotic patients will have the fear of disease, fear of infection, fear of microbes, fear of death. And those sort of syphilitic type of persons who are panicky about the attacks, the pandemic, they will develop definitely this pneumonia and death-like symptoms. So I'm not explaining too much, because what we have to follow the fundamental principles. We should not deviate from the fundamental principles of homeopathy. Then this sort of attacks would not have come. We could have very well said that we have not treated COVID. We have treated some.
Sir, recently so many these type of complaints during COVID. Previously also, there is some of the complaints like arsenic and mercurochrome is problematic by taking it is causing hepatic side effects. But what Hanuman said, as the potency increases, as we potentize our medicine, that will not show any poisonous effects of the medicine, as Herring said, as lachesis on potentization, it lost its poisonous effects, but curative effects is there in the medicine that can cure. But recently, most of the people says homeopathic drugs have side effects. What we say proving, but in potency, what Bellare in nanotechnology we found that nanoparticles are there, which cannot, everybody says in Lancet also, there is no medicine, it is a placebo. Because of that, in London, Homeopathy Hospital has been closed and NHS funds has been stopped by the England. But here, the only problem is raising by the other systems of medicine that homeopathy is causing side effects, because they know only the material doses of the arsenic, and mercury and other metals in their this experimental studies, and they are implementing the patients, and they will say side effects, and doing experimental, the study is double blind, but it is not correct. But our medicine is not having poisonous effects when we potentize. So according to our principle, even the other systems of medicine cannot find out the effects of the medicine, how it is curing the symptoms, the diseases. It takes even 1,000 years also, they can't able to prove that our medicines are acting, how scientific are. But they're simply blaming even in animal time also, and made many problems to animal. Even now also same thing is going on. But it is the time to we have to show the effects of the homeopathic medicine. Previously in Andhra Pradesh, there is one epidemic is there. That is this one encephalitis. So for that, our doctor has been selected belladonna, calcarecorp, and tuberculinum. Because of that, preventive medicine in that epidemic condition totally eradicated. Even other countries also following that now also. So because of that, there is no encephalitis. But through allopathy, what they are giving these the other systems of medicine to prove our drugs are poisonous. It is not correct, sir. It takes even 1,000 years. Also, they are unable to understand our philosophy as well as the action of the drugs.
Dr. Tajitan Ilari from Turkey.
Good evening. I don't know whether I missed or not, but I want to remind the Ravi Mumbai case. This case was supported by the government and used arsenicum album, and hundreds, thousands people are used this medicine then. I think the reports exist for this situation, and this is a huge experiment. and this can be used in defending arsenicum album and homeopathy for COVID. This is what I want to say. Thank you very much.
It is time to conclude today's session. It was a wonderful session. All the eminent, prominent organizations represented by their presidents and senior doctors, like very senior Dr. Girish Gupta, Dr. Sahani sir, Dr. V.T. Rudresh, Dr. Veera Brahmachari, Dr. Ibrahim from Malaysia, Dr. Beatrice from Germany, Dr. Ahmad Hassan is still on the hand raise because of time, and many others joined today. So the important thing is the case was filed on Article 32 of Indian Constitution, which says that any Indian can approach the Supreme Court when any fundamental right is violated. So there was no fundamental right violation here, in my understanding. So I don't know whether the case will withstand in the court itself, but we need to fight. And also there is another two articles, Articles 14 and 21, they are raising. That is also for right to equality and rights against discrimination. These 2 points are also complied by us, and there is no discrimination, there is no question of losing equality here. We are the one in that side. So it is a matter of bringing these points to the court and educating our, bringing these points representing us to the court. I think we will be able to win the case as time goes. The most important point is the scientificity, and that is the fourth point they are raising. And one important point is, it is not only arsenic album 30 distribution they are questioning, they are also praying to the court to prohibit any homeopathic medicine from distributing massively as prophylaxis. So this is a very sad thing or unfavorable thing if the court allows such a petition without our participation. So it is very important that all of us stand united and fight this case in the court. The truth is with us, and if we put a right points before the court, I think we will be able to win the case as the time goes. So it is a matter of time and finding the right lawyer and sufficient amount of money to do the process. Hope we together will be able to achieve all these things in the coming days. So I expect all cooperation and support from all organizations to form a unity ad hoc committee or coalition or some form of unified solidarity organization so that we can combinedly, jointly fight against the court.